Hey VC, how's it going? Right, we're back in the pub. I'm John, 6 inch penis 319. Once again, I'm joined by my mate Headley, another fat beady man talking about records.
Hello, John. Who has made some effort for our Christmas special?
I was going to say,
Uh,
mate,
Look, I've even put up bunting. What have you done, John?
I
I
was
feel
going to
like
say, I was going to say, if you didn't realise it was Christmas, check out Headley's shirt. Look at that.
hey, it's horrible, isn't it? It's absolutely horrible. Yeah,
So what's on your shirt, mate? What you got there?
uh,
What's there?
it's cars and I don't know what don't know what that's a monster truck in it. It's a monster truck.
A
Cars
Christmas
and
monster truck. I
snow.
like it.
There you go. I almost feel like I've done that. I've turned up at a fancy dress party that all my mates are having a laugh with me, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm the only one that's turned up dressed as a gorilla, you know.
We should have, one of us should have been Santa and the other one the elf. That's what we should have
uh,
done. Right. Right, okay, right. So obviously it's Christmas. So it's Christmas in the pub. What are you drinking?
well, I'm drinking eggnog. No, no, I'm not. Do you know? I don't think I've ever had eggnog.
No,
Have
not me.
you?
No.
No. I've had a snowball. That's kind of getting there, isn't it?
My mom, she was teetotal. She never drank. But at Christmas Day, she always had a snowball. It's Advocaat, wasn't it? Advocaat?
Advocate, yeah,
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go. So that
Oh,
brings me on. I've got a Christmas beverage. I've got a little glass of Bailey's there.
ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Do you have
Mm.
any Christmas traditions, food or drink wise?
No,
No.
no, absolutely none. It's quite bad, isn't it? Um, it's I would like to have some traditions,
Yeah.
but no, none whatsoever. It's just as it comes.
I tell you what I like.
I haven't had turkey at Christmas for donkey's years.
What? What?
I know. Well,
What do you have?
Louise always goes, should we not do a turkey this year? And I go, yeah, all right. And I've said it one too many times, I think. That's
Well,
the problem.
Christmas ain't Christmas without a turkey, is it?
No, and I tell you, I used to love the rissoles afterwards. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you'd make rissoles out of the leftover turkey. In fact, I
yeah,
think I preferred them to the
yeah.
turkey dinner. Yeah, I suppose I could just do it myself. I'm not being all sexist and suggesting that. In fact, I'd be quite happy to cook it. I mean, in an oven, not like those Americans do. Have you seen all this? Putting turkeys into
Yeah,
vats of boiling fat.
yeah.
What's that about?
No, it's not right, is it?
That, that's mad.
No, that ain't right.
Yeah.
That ain't right. No,
Sort
but
yourselves out, America.
yeah. So I tell you what I do like at Christmas, a little
Mm,
Christmas treat. I like a
right.
pint of Guinness, right, with a Tia Maria chucked in it. Oh, I'll tell you what, velvety. It's lovely. It really is, yeah.
Oh, Tia Maria Chaser. Yes,
In,
please.
in your Guinness.
Oh, that reminds me of my 21st birthday that my
Yeah.
mates took me out and they were trying to get me drunk. And this concoction arrived, which was a beer with a brandy and a scotch in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, look, I would quite happily drink the beer, the
Hmm.
brandy, and the scotch. Why did you have to put them all together
Yeah.
and make it undrinkable? Oh, I did
Yeah.
drink it anyway. Of course, I did. It was, you know, had to.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
Well,
Sweet
yeah,
spot, Got
yeah,
to do it.
that's right. Mm.
Right. Okay then. So we're in the pub, and obviously because only the two of us, we get
Yeah,
three tunes each tonight.
and unfortunately, the jukebox in this pub has no Christmas tunes on
Yeah.
it, does
No,
it?
no Christmas
No
song.
Christmas
Not tonight.
tunes.
No.
We've
Oh,
chosen the wrong pub, unfortunately.
probably all the right pub, maybe. I don't know. So there we go. Right. So what you got first up? What you got?
Okay, first up, got a bit of a rarity. This is the Everly Brothers, and it's I'm on my way home again. It's from 1969,
Right.
and it's a kind of a double A side with a cuckoo bird on the other side,
Mm.
um, and it's their country rock stuff. So this comes after Roots, which was their 1968 album that most people know about as being one
Yeah.
of the sort of early country rock records. But this is kind of the interim, a sort of a kind of a leftover, or them going in a slightly different direction. Because Roots doesn't sound like the kind of country rock that was about, does it? It's got a real unique kind of sound to it.
Yeah.
got some funky stuff on it. It's got some other sort of stuff going on. I think isn't there a cover of a Randy Newman song as well, I think, or something. But this is a bit more like traditional country rock. So 69, and it's actually, the band is Clarence White and Gene Parsons, who at the time were both in the Byrds.
Yeah.
So they play all the instruments on it. And yeah, so I was really pleased to pick that up this year, actually, earlier in the year. I think this is a Norwegian, not Norwegian, Netherlands, Dutch copy.
That's that's a really cool picture sleeve, isn't it? You can tell it's European. Yeah. It's not UK.
They like that. They're more into it, weren't they? They really love it, German or Dutch, or No, so nice. Yeah, it's a great tune. I mean, both sides are really great, but yeah, a great sort of lost little sort of underlying country rock classic that never really got heard, because it didn't appear on any albums. It was just a single release.
No, it's interesting because I don't know either of those songs at all, but I know the Roots album. But the main stuff that I know, the Everly Brothers, is the very late 50s, very early 60s songs. Those really big hits they had. But it's all about the vocals, isn't it? We've talked about it before, that those where it's siblings singing together. That perfect harmony sound, and nobody did it better than the Everly Brothers, did they? Yeah,
and Elliot Cruz, something dog, I can't remember his name, his channel, that's really bad. He did a brilliant series of videos, if anyone's interested. We'll put a link below to the sort of the Delmore brothers, then the Louvin brothers, and then leading up to the tradition that went through. And they're really interesting. So Elliot's videos are great on that. Yeah. An interesting thing about this actually is it's written. On my way back home again, of course, Cuckoo is a traditional, but On My Way Back Home Again was written by Don Everly, but apparently it says on here that it was written by someone called R. Slater, and apparently other times it's been credited to his wife. So it was all done as a big kind of tax dodge or copyright dodge. Yeah. I think he was still under, although this is on Warner Brothers, I think he was his writing, his or songwriting was still publishing was still owned by someone else. So they were pulling a bit of a fast one by releasing that. It's like with Paul McCartney, is it, in the early 70s, where he started crediting songs to Paul and Linda McCartney because of Northern Songs having been sold. So, and I think he was taken to court on it. And I think I'm sure this is right, that the argument was that although she may not have actually sat down and written the lyrics, she was the inspiration for the song. So he sort of got around it that way. But yeah, to sort of hive off some of the money, some of the publishing, he credited it to Linda. So yeah, same sort of deal. Yeah, I've got an early Chaz and Dave record where a couple of the tunes are credited to Chaz's wife. Very good. Dodgy Cockney geezers.
No, I don't think I'll ever get on a train again. I'll just smile and wave at the engineer. I'll put my guitar in a gunny sack and walk away and I won't look back. And when the whistle blows my name, I'll say, woo-hoo, I'm on my way home again. No, I don't think I'll ever come this way again. I'll be content with the pictures in my mind. I remember how that lonesome road used to press my back like a heavy load. And when the diesel calls my name, I'll say, woo-hoo, I'm on my way home again.
Right, okay. Right, so my choice, right? So okay. Every time we do one of these pub videos, you always turn up with a number one single, right? So I'm trying.
I have. Yeah, that is my thing. Yeah, I'm Mr. Popular.
Yeah, I'm playing catch up, right? So 1979, a UK number one for a month. We've got Our Friends Electric by Tubeway Army.
That was number one.
Number one, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, I'm too young to, I'm sure you as well, to remember this being number one, right?
Yeah,
But it must have sounded absolutely mental when it came out,
yeah,
because that synthesizer sound is absolutely huge. Is the whole song it's about a synthesizer riff. It's not. I don't think it's even got a chorus. It's just that big synthesizer sound which drives the whole thing from beginning to end, which of course has been sampled as well quite heavily. The Sugar Babes,
Sugar Babes did,
Freak
yeah.
Like Me, yeah, I think that was a mashup which they sort of subsequently recorded,
Mm.
and they used the riff as well. But yeah, I think this is fantastic, and Gary Newman's a bit of an enigma, isn't he? Because yeah, you think about at this sort of time, he was clearly massively influenced by David Bowie, both in look and in vocal style as well. I mean, I think Bowie was a bit pissed off at the time, the fact that he felt he was just ripping him off basically. But he's had a really interesting career. The way that his sound developed through the 80s, and then as he got sort of less popular into the 90s and 2000s, he sort of reinvented himself,
Yeah.
sort of based his new sound around some of the artists that were influenced by him, the likes of Nine
Mm.
Inch Nails and such like, and he sort of followed that sort of line
Yes,
through the
yes.
2000s. But yeah, I think he's a really interesting artist. Yeah, he's had an interesting career. Really good stuff.
Yeah, I've got a great version of Our Friends Electric on a live album of his, where it's got really heavy guitar. It's amped up the guitars on it, which sounds great.
Well, that's the thing. The riff sounds like it should be played on the guitar. It's that big riff, but obviously it's been played on a synthesizer, and I get the impression that the whole synthesizer sound almost came about by mistake. There just happened to be a synth in the studio when they're making a song, and of course it's like a happy accident, and that's what they end up with. But it's a brilliant song. I still think it sounds really fresh now. Number one here. I don't think it was a hit in the States. So
No.
whether the American VCs will know, I don't know, but it's a great tune.
Yeah, I wonder if Cars and things like that were a hit over there as well. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably more likely.
Right, I think we've already had this artist. But hey, bears repeating. I think quality. Um, Cover versions. Cover
Go on then.
versions are something that can be a poisoned chalice, can't they? Some of them can be great if they're doing something different, or some of them can be terrible. And I think this is one of, I think, the best. One of the best cover versions that kind of made it into the charts,
Okay.
and that's Kirsty MacColl
Yeah.
and her doing "Days"
Yeah.
by the Kinks.
Yeah.
And this is '89, and it's such a lovely version. She's sped it up a bit, and apparently she said she wanted to go all ABBA on it, which I suppose I can hear a little bit. I get that.
I can
I
hear
get
that,
that with
yeah.
the
I can hear that.
production and the layered vocals. Yeah, I think it got to something like 12 in the charts, which ironically was the same that the Kinks' original version got to in the charts. But yeah, lovely. So this was going to be the first single from her album Kite,
Yeah.
but they decided actually it's probably best to have one of her own one of her own songs. But yeah, it's kind of ethereal. It's got that lovely vocals all over it. It's sort of shimmery version. And a nice picture sleeve as well.
Yeah.
To get hold of that.
I prefer that version to the Kinks version. Yeah, I think she had that ability to use a voice to layer her vocals, and I remember reading an interview with Johnny Marr, because obviously she did some vocals on a couple of the Smith songs, And
Yeah.
it's just basically saying that the band just sat in awe in the studio, just watching her layer her vocals, to create this massive sound. I think she did Golden Lights, didn't she, by Twinkle with the Smiths. But yeah, she
Well,
just
Johnny Marr is one of the co-producers of this.
well, there you go. Yeah, it's that sort of
There you
time.
go.
So 89. So yeah, the Kite
Yeah,
album's a brilliant record, though, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's
Great record.
lovely stuff. Perfect pop.
Yeah, it
Perfect.
is.
Thank you for the days, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days I won't forget a single day, believe me. Days I'll remember all my life. Days when you can't see wrong from right. You took my life, but then I knew that very soon you'd leave me. But it's alright, now I'm not frightened of this world, believe me. Days, thank you for the days, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me.
Right. Okay. Good stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to pick a bit of soul music, Headley. I don't know if you expected that or not, but that's what's going to happen.
Well, that's bloody inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah. There you go. So here we go on Atlantic Records, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin,
Hey.
and Rocksteady. Now, this I mentioned about the Tube by Army track being a #1 over here and not charting in the States. This was a big hit in the US, never a hit in the UK. Can you believe that?
No, that is odd. Did she have any big hits over here?
Yeah, she was. She had the #1 single, didn't she, with George Michael? Come on.
Oh, the peak of her career. Yes, yes.
I quite like Aretha in the 80s.
I know you do. I know, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just, but not the classic era. None of them really
Yeah.
charted particularly high.
So this song anyway. So if you can, I mean, Aretha Franklin, I'd put her up against any singer, whatever the genre, male, female. She's about as good as it gets. You can hear her influence everywhere today. Still, all the female singers, with all these million notes, whatever. None of them sort of have the fact that you need to have soul to be able to do that. It's not just about the technicality of hitting the notes,
No.
which so many people think it is. It's the delivery, it's the phrasing, it's the control. She was just incredible. But if you can listen to this song, but try and ignore Aretha, right? Try and listen to the band, because the band on this record are about as good as it gets, right? So you've got Bernard Purdie on drums, Chuck Rainey on bass, Cornell Dupree on guitar. You've got that lovely call and response thing. She always, a lot of the time, she used her sisters as her backing singers.
Yeah.
Carolyn and Irma Franklin. And their voices together just sound wonderful. Once again, it goes back to the Everly Brothers thing we mentioned there, that family
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
And it works so well. And then, so it's as funky as you like. And then you get to the middle of the song, and you've got the breakdown where everybody drops out, apart from Aretha, who's done a bit of scatting, and Bernard Purdie with an absolutely incredible drum break in the middle. Then it all comes back in. It's just a brilliant song. This is perhaps at the moment, it's probably my favourite Aretha song. It's just incredible. A great funk song. Obviously, it goes without saying it's an exquisite vocal performance by it, but they all are, aren't they? So this is from her Young, Gifted and Black album. Came out 71, 72. That's one of my favourite Aretha albums as well. That sort of period. So yeah, Rocksteady by Aretha Franklin.
That's brilliant. I was listening to just the other day. Actually, I was listening to is it the live at the Fillmore?
Yeah, that's a good record.
And the speed at which she takes Respect. I think it's Respect.
Yeah.
It's practically double the tempo that it's just like, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she is without a shadow of a doubt, I think the best soul voice for me. I mean, I even like that thing where she turned up at the Grammys and sang Nessun Dorma. Have you heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
Which it's just, was it apparently not Placido Domingo, the other one. big chap. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah, Pavarotti.
Pavarotti.
Yeah.
Apparently, Pavarotti was gonna, and he called off sick, and so they went, "Do you fancy doing this and Dorma?" She went, "All right, then I'll have a
There we
go."
go. Yeah.
I mean, there's probably people who absolutely hate it, but there's something about her voice that just finds something new in it.
Yeah, just wonderful. Absolutely.
Right, okay. I'm going to take you back, John, to when I was probably 10 years, I'd have been 10 years old.
Okay.
Maybe even nine. And the first album I ever bought, and this is a single from that first album I ever bought. So this is seminal stuff here. When I was a 9-year-old fat bearded man, not talking about records.
Okay.
This is the first record. And it's Break Machine, Street Dance.
Tune.
Absolutely, tune.
Love it.
I love this tune. Here you go. There's got the album. There you go. There's the
Yeah, I've got the album. Yeah. So is that 80?
First record I bought that.
Is that 83? Is it something like that? 82, 83?
That's 88. No, this is 84. So this this was I think late sort of November time. 83.
Right.
It's and actually it's the I much prefer the instrumental version. I have to say, because it's the rudimentary rapping on it. I mean, you know, they're never going to get classed as the top rappers of their generation. It reminds me a bit. It's one of those British TV things like Look Around You or something, where they have a guy that tells this thing about I'm going to do this rapping thing, and he goes, "I'm rapping, I'm rapping, I'm rapping." And it's a bit better than that, but I mean, I love those outfits. And I grew up in North London, and so when I was the age this, and now I have to say I could not do any of the body popping or the break. No, not a chance. No. The kids in my class were all trying to do it, and probably damaging themselves, and but. This was, you know, because I grew up in North London, it was a very multicultural thing. So this is the sort of stuff that a lot of the kids in the class were digging. I tell you what's interesting, I didn't realise until I started just to have a little bit of look into this, is it's produced by Jacques Morelli and executive produced by Henri Bellolo. And they are the people behind the Village People.
Oh, is that right? I don't know that.
Yes. So basically, it's right. We've finished with the Village People. Let's go with this rap stuff.
Wow.
And so they're French. I think they were both from Morocco, actually. But French. Bringing them. So lovely stuff. It's just got one of those silly. It reminds me a little bit of Axel F or something like that. It's got that silly kind of motif, that kind of whistling that goes through it.
Yeah.
Which
it has.
Great.
But I like you mentioned about sort of rapping from that period. I like it. You know, there's a real innocence to it, isn't it? You know, it just feels like anybody can rap. You know, I mean, clearly anybody can't rap, but you know, at that point, the style of, you know, the phrasing and everything, it was just almost like a nursery rhyme delivery, wasn't it? You know,
that's right. Yeah,
it's got real sweetness to it. But
you'd love to see a rap battle between some of the people from back then and the modern lot.
The thing is, so have you? I don't know whether you remember the films, the breakdance films, Breakdance the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I used to watch Breakdance the movie and Breakdance 2 Electric Boogaloo. I used to watch
Electric
oh,
Boogaloo.
over and over again when I was a kid. Fantastic.
I think I like the words Electric Boogaloo. I just
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that sold it to me. I don't know what it is, but I
Yeah.
like an Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, it's really cool. But it's really cool. I mean, there's a scene in the first one where one of the characters, Turbo, is sweeping up outside a shop or a store or whatever, and he puts his sort of his boombox down and he plays Numbers by Kraftwerk. And obviously, and it's a great scene. And of course, you've got that sort of that crossover there. You've got the '70s, electronic sound, whatever, being used for a hip hop film, whatever sort of thing. And it works so well. So yeah, you've got that sort of where the two sort of genres merge, whatever. But yeah, very cool. I loved those films when I was a kid. But there you go, great choice that is, mate. Love it.
Right, we'll do some body popping in our next video. How
I
about
tell
that?
you what. I tell you what. I'm gonna scrap my choice. We'll put that on again. That's right. That's what we'll do. Play it twice.
Everywhere that you may go, we're jamming in the street. All the people that you meet dance to the beat. If you come to New York City, you'll never be the white. When you see us city kids spinning on our backs. I like the way he does that dance when he got to cross the floor. You know it really blows my mind. I always yell for more. I can't believe the things I see, like diving on the ground, then he's standing on his head and grooving to the sound. Now just let your body move. Street dance, street dance.
No, right, okay. So my choice is this. This is the Pretenders with Kid. So this is their second single. You know the tune?
No,
You don't know it?
sorry. No,
Everybody should have a best of the Pretenders.
I've got their second album. What's the song with Brass in Pocket? And
Yeah, so Pretenders 2, is it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
is that on the first album? No.
I
Don't know.
didn't think so. No.
Right. So this is on the first album. This is Kid. So there's their second single. Their first single was "Stop Your Sobbing," the cover of the Kinks song. Another Kinks link there.
There you go.
So obviously Chrissy Hine, she's as cool as you like. She's always been cool. Even now, I don't know what age she's, probably in her early 70s or something now. I saw her play, well, with the Pretenders only a couple of years ago in a local pub, the Hare and Hounds in King's Heath. Holds 200 people. And, she absolutely loved it. She's rock and roll, isn't she? So
Yeah.
because it's a pub, to get to the stage, she had to push her way through the crowd with the rest of the band and climb up onto the stage and just played for an hour and just absolutely kill her. But this is one of my favourite songs of theirs. And I would say, well, the reason why I'm picking this and the clip that I'm going to play the guitar solo from this. So it's one of my favourite guitar solos. It's played by James Honeyman Scott. Obviously, he passed away just a couple of years after this was released. And if you look at him up online and you try and find out about this record, there's lots of references to Johnny Marr because Johnny Marr talks about this song a lot, basically saying this is a massive influence on his guitar sound and what he used in the Smiths and all that Smith songwriting style. And you can really hear it on this. But I think this is a brilliant, perfect pop song. And she was effortlessly cool. And it certainly for 4 or 5 years, the songs that they put out, they're just classic pop songs. Any time they're timeless. They yeah, lovely stuff. And Brass in Pocket, I think, was the first new number one of the 1980s. And it sounds like an 80s track. It doesn't sound like a 70s song, So that's what the way I always look at it. But yeah, I think Brass in Pocket is, just a timeless classic, isn't it? But this is great.
Yeah, because the last of the 70s was Pink Floyd. We don't need no education. Yeah.
So that held over into the first week of 1918, and the first new number one was.
Yeah. Now that's interesting, isn't it? That's a nice passing of the baton, isn't it, from one generation to the next?
And it's noticeable, isn't it? Pink Floyd to the Pretenders. You can see how things are going there.
Was it going on alphabetically? Was that what was going on?
That's what it was. Yeah. Who was up next?
Prince wasn't it next?
Who?
Prince.
Oh, Prince was up next. Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah. No, Prince. No, pretend. No. I didn't. Spelling's not a strong point, I have to say.
Hey, you're right. Prince is after Pretend, isn't it?
Oh, I'm all right. Oh, there you go.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. Good. Right. Well, there you go. That's 6 records, isn't it?
Okay, we should have put them in alphabetical order, really, shouldn't we?
That's what we'll do in future. We'll get all those things.
We'll do it in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Well, every time we'll have a different way. What's the ISBN number and stuff like that?
Yeah. People have got to guess what order we put in them in. That's part of the fun of it. Yeah, cool. Good stuff. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to put up some more bunting or?
Oh, yeah, bunting for the next 24 hours. I'll be bunting the house.
Yeah.
Bunting, decking the halls with bows of holly.
Yeah.
And trying to find some advocaat somewhere.
I was just thinking, I'm going to start looking for that bottle of Tia Maria in a minute. That's what I'm going to do. So there you go. All right, then. Lovely stuff. See you next time.
Happy Christmas and a festive New Year for everyone.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.